All right, hello. Let's see. Just gonna pop out the chart and then we can start. Okay, cool. So we're fixing issues. What's up? Okay, so last time we talked about the next JS issue, and it took me a while to figure out, but I finally did. And it turns out like I had to wait. Do I have VS Code open? Yes. Oh, that's not the same repo. Yes, it turns out I had to change my rollup config, and the nice way of doing that was just put all the themes, and you can do like an FS redirectory. I learned that from Kamlesh yesterday, but there are only 3 of them right now, so I didn't bother doing that yet. Yeah, so now we published the theme, we published the package. Jacob created a code sandbox, like a template to use next with React UI. Let's look at the other issues. Yeah, so one of the this one needs a contributing guide because the other thing works now. Yeah, the other one was I was talking to Ruben. He had some feature requests for these components. Plus, also he made another one, the stat component. And the thing with like components and where I'm slightly confused is that things are gonna add up real fast, right? Like there are millions of components that can be built, but of course we don't want all of them. So that is going to be difficult. I want to say it's going to be tricky at least. So what I'm thinking is like creating another package. So there's like creating a set of package, and this is something that I still have to think through. I'm not super sure what the plan is, but right now there is a React UI package, and this is like the only package, and it kind of comes with all of the components. How many? Like 16 or some components, right? Not too many. But over time you'd want more components to exist, but not in the base package. Even when you have like multiple packages, we'll still need to have themes, and it should work with the light theme, dark theme, and any custom theme that people create. So that's really where the challenge is. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to pick a component here and then try to publish it outside. So let's say which component shouldn't ideally be here. Like the menu component is kind of involved. It's interesting. I also have like the stat component from Ruben. We can probably move that. Actually, you know what? Let's take his component and move it. It's a new component, doesn't exist yet, so there's no. Otherwise, we'll be making a breaking change, which I don't think is a good idea already. So let's create a new. Okay, so here's the next part. Do we create one package like React UI extended in which has like millions of things, or do we create like a new package for every component? Because that could be interesting, because people can then come up with their own components and we can put them here. I think both approaches work, but I'm not sure. Okay, so at least what I'm going to do here is create like a React UI extended, Now I'm wondering if this should be a different, like a repository altogether. But actually, it would be easy to test all of them, so let's just put them in one thing. And we're gonna make a stat component first of all. And the stat component is where there should be a package JSON. Package JSON. Right, so let's copy any other package JSON to put it here. This is React UI stats component. Let's put it version 1. This is cool. Oh wow, we'll have to rethink dependencies and build files. Dependency should be nice because it's just this one. I'm just gonna put Ruben's name because he's the one who came up with the component. So Ruben, making some decisions here. Okay, this should be good. Now to actually publish it, I'm sure we'll have to take React UI's build script, which is just roll up. Let me copy both of these. Okay, so this is good. Let me go to the root package JSON because there's a workspaces setup. Okay, so it already gets everything, which is fine. Oh, I don't know how deep this goes. I'm assuming it goes all like multiple. Actually, you know what? I think it doesn't. So we'll need React UI extended and then each package inside it. Coming to think of it, this is probably like a bad name in the first place. Naming is the hard part. Let's think about that later. Okay, so now that we have this, let's build a component. And what would be cool is if we could also get this in the documentation already. But anyway, let's first build it and then we'll figure out. So if you go to the docs, there is a guide on how to build components. Core concepts, creating new components. It kind of walks down like what are the different parts that you want to do. And using the element is one of them. So let's check if Ruben already did that. He's already using all of the bunch of components from here. So that's super smart. That's good. Unless there's a doc page. Yeah, there's a doc page. Sorry. This is the one. Okay. So of course you gotta import React. You gotta import element from React UI. And now we can create. So this is going to be us. Okay. This is why I like having docs first because you can really think about the API without actually building the component. So this is kind of what Ruben is going from. There's a stat. There's a start which kind of doesn't do much. Yeah, this is helpful. So there's a start which is the whole thing, and then you have visits, you have the amount, and then you have a timeline. He's calling them title, amount, description. Okay, I have a few different ideas. What I like to call, like, the first one is more, it's a label. The second one is the value. Like amount kind of shouts it's a numerical, but this could be anything else. And I like descriptions, so let's keep that. Okay, I'm gonna go to the comments real quick. Arijit, hey. Arijit. Okay. Ranak, what is the assumption regarding tree shaking? Is it left to the user? Then shouldn't it be simple to put everything in one package? Kind of. So it's the answer is kind of, it's still not clear in my head, but how I'm thinking about it, that the package can be tree shaken, so you can put everything into one package, but there is this element of like everything has to be inside the same package and follow the same package guidelines. which I think is not necessary, right? So for example, Ruben here built a stat component. Now there is no real reason for it to be restricted inside the React UI repo. Like it could be, he could have published, like not yet, but imagine if he wants to publish it as his own NPM package, right? Instead of putting it in React UI. You should be able to do that. At the same time, maybe you're making like animations, right? And you want some animations that work with React UI, so you publish that as its own package. That should still work. So that line of thought kind of got me into thinking that not everything would be in one package, and it'd be really difficult to actually make them in one package, to unify, like, I don't know, the ecosystem into one package. So given that, I'm thinking that it probably would be wise if we already start like an extended package. And the idea of the extended package is not that everything should be in that package, but it's a way of testing out how would packages dependent on React UI work, right? So you have the core React UI library, you have component packages, and then you have applications. So applications is fine, core exists, but this middle layer is kind of not explored yet. So that's really what I want to find out. And this is one way. Like if we, I'm still not convinced fully, but I think it's still this could be one direction in which things can go. We gotta try it. We gotta explore and see what we find. So I'm gonna quickly create some things. This should be element. Actually, you know what? This probably should be a stack with a direction vertical, and yeah, it just wraps all its props. Not a lot going on here. Label, value, descriptions. These are the three components. Let's see what Ruben wanted. Okay, so he has the topmost as a div, which has a stack inside. So it's kind of similar. Gap is a good idea so that there's space between them. So this is the interesting part, that there is design logic baked into the component, which you can override, but you can also use. So what I would do differently here is, instead of putting props on the parent, I would actually put it on the stack itself. And then we can, of course, give it a name, component. Component. This is how we give names in React UI, which I probably want to change. It would be cool if this could be called name instead of component something. I just don't know if that interferes with something like you have names in like form fields, and it basically if it conflicts with that. Moving on, the title, use a text component, which is a smart choice, and then has the size and the weight inside it. So this, at least for me, this is a slightly controversial idea, that if this is a reusable component, then this shouldn't really have a size baked in. So even though you can change it, the size should be in the theme, which is where we wanted to get, which is where all the theming confusion would actually occur, because you can put it here, but you can also put it outside. Stats. I'm gonna get stats or stat. I think I named it stats. That's interesting. So this can just be called stats. This is stats label, stats value, stats description. Funny thing, the single, it's like stats is statistics. The single is statistic. Should we just name it stat? Because this is one piece of statistic, not multiple. Maybe not. Okay, so now that we have our basic, both of these are text. I'm gonna go back to his design. Yeah. So label, text, and description. Okay. We need to import. We actually didn't use element at all, so we can import and text, and that is. Oh, I need to wrap these. So stats.label is label. Value is value. I like wrapping them like this so that uh, these are like these three components are always going to be used together because they make one complex component. So then attaching them makes it easier to import, export, all of that. As long as they're always used together, this is a good strategy because you don't really want them to be tree shaken anyways. Cool. So this was kind of fine. Wasn't really that bad. Now comes the themes of it. So I'm trying to figure out how do I render it in the docs because this is not even inside documents. Oh, pages. Yes, these are the components. Should I just make like an extended components? See, this is where it's gonna get difficult because without proper tooling, it's going to be really hard to get everything merged together. Okay, I'm copying one of the docs. Let's also run the docs now. Interesting. Okay. Let me add this package inside docs. So React UI docs depends on React UI, but now also has a dependency on React UI stats 0.0. Blah. Okay, let's run yarn on this package. Oops, packages docs yarn. Oh wait, we don't. Okay, we should also build this before we start exporting, and then which means this main is actually all messed up. Plus we'll need our rollup config. Cool, let's create a rollup config here. See, this is another thing that would get repeated a lot, and if it's not configured the same way, maybe we'll have some bugs because of it. Don't need this. Okay, this is good. We use package.source and package.main, which means source is index.js and main should probably be dist/index.js. Okay, I like where this is going. Needs to have a dev dependencies of rollup. Actually, not. You need all of these. Okay, I'm gonna pull the author right up top. This is not private. Cool. Let's run. Go to packages first. Build it. Where am I? cd extended. Oh, and then it's gonna call it stats. And let's see. Oh wow. No file rollup config. Did I not copy rollup config? I didn't. Oh shit, did I modify the original? No, I didn't either. Yeah, I still have this, but I don't have one here. What did I do? Did I put one in the docs? Yes, I did. This should be here. Okay. Should be in stats. Okay, cool. Let's run build. Okay, so this is good. Okay, now we can go back to docs, one layer up, and do a yarn. While that is still running, let's try to figure out what goes in like these extended components. So this one's called stats. I copied the avatar, I think. Okay, I shouldn't. Let me not copy stuff so that I can build it in a not screwed up fashion. Page. I don't know the theme here. I don't want any of this. Import. Oh, see, this is gonna be difficult. Stats from React UI extended. No, it's called React UI stats. I already hit this. Like, this shouldn't be called. Should probably be something like React UI. At least in the same namespace. Well, okay, doesn't matter yet. And inside the page, let's render our examples. It was stats label. I'm gonna copy what this one. Visits, we call this value 345.670. Not that it matters, it is trying to be nice. Last 7 days. Okay, cool. This is called stats. I don't know what the tagline is. God. Let's wrap it in an example. I wrote extremely custom docs because I wanted to build the docs with React UI itself, because like that's a really good test. But now contributing to the docs it's a lot of work, of course. Okay, now that that is built, let's try to run it, and let's hope at least it doesn't break. That's the first test. Okay, we're also not using it from anywhere, so there's like a very little chance that anything's gonna happen. Whoa, that's a lot. Pages, components. Still not sure how I want to do that. So there is this export default as stats from extended components / stats, right? And then we get stats at least. What's it called? It's called stats. Yeah, this is fine. And there is a page that probably uses this. Is it inside here? Components. Look, pages. Yeah. Who renders pages? Pages getting started. Pages component index. And then I have no recollection of how any of this works. Can I just go to stats? No, of course not. Oh no, I actually can. Some of this worked, but the rest of it didn't. React.create element is not defined. In React UI extended stats dist. Okay, so that's good. That's progress. Why does it not work? I have no idea. React.create element itself is not defined. That's really interesting. What is React? React is function module. Okay, let's find out what's here. So we do import React for all the JSX. No, not this. Yeah, we do import React and then we do a bunch of JSX and we export it. So all of that should be good. Okay, so I think dev dependency is missing. That is one thing. Like this wouldn't even know what React is yet. Okay, I have another idea. This doesn't need to be in a component of its own. I could also use like a page right now to play around. For example, let's just use avatar, right? Just to see if the component itself works. So if I go to the avatar page and import a new component, so stats from React UI stats. Oops, stats. Right. Let's see if it renders anything. That's probably not what I should be writing, but okay, it didn't break this time, which is good. Can I say hi? No, I can't. This is where it breaks, okay. Because create element, yeah, it's the same error. Good. Okay, so now we know that the stats component itself isn't actually, we need more work to get it to build. Okay, stats. This part looks okay to me. My guess would be that it's missing the other dependencies. For example, React UI package. This has a pair dependency on React. Label, no. All of these are good. So I can only guess that because React itself is not defined, it doesn't get polyfill. That's not polyfill, what's the word? Like it doesn't recognize the import. That's probably not how it works, but that's what we can try. Stats yarn build. Okay, this came around. Yeah, that was it. It is a missing pair dependency. Cool. I like how that just worked. Okay, so now that we're here, yeah, let's test it out. I created another page here. I can copy paste. Okay, so this is like the bare bones component. This is how it looks without any styles. Now when it comes to styles, if this was in the core package, it would have been like easier because I would just like go to the light theme. Wait, where am I? React UI source themes. What? React UI source themes. Light theme. Why hasn't VS Code indexed this? Okay, so even prettier field. Never mind. Right, I could just drop it here, and this is like the more customization bit where if you know how the component is built. So for example, if I go here and look at like what are the elements inside it, you'll see there's a stats label, and there's a stats value, right? And then if I want to customize, I say stats value is something like font size is, let's say, 5. Right. Oh, I also have to build React UI. Let's just keep it running. Yeah, so if the core package knows about the extended package, then it's fairly easy, because I can just do this. And if like somebody is importing this, they can just drop this style. But the interesting thing that's gonna happen now is, how would you get to know that? Oh damn, I moved it to pre-publish. Pre-publish? Yeah, this is stupid. This is on me. This shouldn't be in a pre-publish step at all. This should be part of building. Okay, good. And now, of course, we're not watching it. Is there a watch with copy? That isn't right, so I just have to do this manually. I don't know if that worked. Okay, this is gonna be a ton of problem. Okay, so one way that I think we might be able to solve it is, so I go back to my stats package, and imagine if the stats package came with a different file, right, which is stats.styles.js, right, and this is export default, right. You could mention the styles here, and then when this gets bundled, you kind of just import it. So stats is something, and inside that we'll have stats value is 5. So when you import it, you can just drop stats in your theme provider. So Light shouldn't have it, because Light doesn't even know about it. But what knows about it is the document that uses it. So my theme provider for these pages, which is God knows where, okay, it's right here. This is the theme provider. So const components, this is where we kind of have to merge them, right? So you merge this and you merge this, like whatever comes from the stats component. Actually, this shouldn't be in quotes. I don't know, I did that, right? This should just be here, and merge comes from React UI. We already ship it. Components goes here. So now stats styles is the one that's missing, and you probably would import it from the extended package. Something like import stats from React UI stats. But this is silly because this is not the styles. You actually want something like styles, or you want styles as stats. Phew. I kind of like this more. Slash style. So if this becomes a convention, right, that you always export styles, stats, right, and then stats value, I think that's what you wanted, was font size 5, and then you export this. So the name of the component and the name of the export, if they match, then you get this. And it's nice with the match because then you can merge it. Still thinking if this is like, this is even in like the right direction that we should be going in. Right, you got styles, you got app, and the both shipped. So if I go to roll up, like you can see it works. Um, Another way of doing this is like if we import the styles here in the package and then I re-export it like styles, and then like in your theme provider, um, you kind of know what to import. So you say styles as stats. Oh wait, you're already importing stats. So, but then you would say stats.styles. Oh god, this can be so bad. What would be a nice like automatic-ish way? Like what's obvious to me is that you would have to bring it into your theme. So if you look at, okay, let's maybe we're looking at the wrong examples. If we look at the podcast app that we were building, example this one, right? Over here we use the dark app, dark theme. So if I go back here and if I say theme, right, and just pull the theme into a file of its own, just to make it a little cleaner, and then import theme here. So import tokens components from themes, actually just theme, export tokens components, right? So I'm kind of giving myself room to play around with this, and now here I would say stats from React UI stats, and then you say component dot stats, right? So I'm kind of importing the base themes, adding my essentially like a plugin, and then exporting it. This could be a really interesting way. And you know this is a component, so you put it here. What I think that makes sense. This could be styles. This could also be just like this, or it could be styles as stats. I think this is the best. Okay, I think this is like half of it makes sense yet. The other half is you kind of have to expect font size 5 to exist. And this font size 5 is kind of based on the light theme has a preference, has a default font size of 3. Like we always keep using 3, which is where that comes from. It's almost like the default style. So if I say font sizes, body is 3, right? This is kind of what it is. And then every component ends up using this size, which is fine as long as your theme also does something similar. Because if it doesn't, then this would just not be styled and you'll have to do it yourself. Interesting. So that's one way. Also would be cool to do this. Let me check if this exists. Okay, this is not how it works, right? It's org. Yeah. Okay, already exists. Somebody has it. Already named something called core. That's smart. It's with a GitHub user called None, which I'm guessing is not actually someone. It's just a placeholder. Okay, so we can try to get that, but assuming that's not a thing, we could just move it to like components or UX or React UI extended. Okay, this is going to be interesting because there's a bunch of things that are unknowns here, but I think I kind of like this one strategy, so I'm gonna run with it at least for now, because something finished is better than having nothing. So okay, let's do this for the docs as well, because docs don't really do a theme yet. Themes, yes. Oh, the theme is dynamic. Wow, forgot about that. Which is also fine, I guess, because it's always going to be extended. That's cool. So extended, I'm gonna call it theme components. Theme components is, we don't need this, we only need stats, and const components is, there you go, and we only need to export components which we can merge here. We could call them something like plugins, or it goes, the name can go really far. Theme components, and then we gotta merge theme components with theme components, and that should work. Okay, the only thing is this should exist. So going back to stats, yep, import styles from styles, and we literally export this as well. This could become a convention. It's not a bad convention. Styles. Okay, it's export default. Right, this could work. We publish those. We import it here. Okay, let me just probably have to build that. Stats in source app.js is never used. Yeah, we don't need this anymore. Okay, let's try to build it. Okay, this is built, this is here. You should have something on the screen. Yeah, perfect. So now not only do we get stats, these are actually customizable. So you can say stats dot stats value, right? You can give it a color, let's say red, or I don't know, something. But at the same time, you could also give it colors from your own theme. So for example, if I'm in the light theme, I'm gonna give this like a body, and I have stats description, which I'm gonna give a text dot subtle, and both of these comes from my theme, which I know exists. right? The stat doesn't really know about them. It doesn't have to know about them. This is description. Font size 3. Yeah, probably smaller too. Yeah, I like how this. It's not pretty, but it's coming around. Both of these could actually be in the same object as well. So we get stats, we customize some of it, and then we export it further. I'm gonna make notes. Import third party component package. Customize styles. Re-export for theme provider. Cool. Okay, not bad. This could work. So to recap, just for myself and for you, for every component you kind of need to create a component. You need to create a styles, or like you can store it wherever, but it should be exported as a styles object, so that in an app these styles objects can be imported, customized if somebody wants, and then used in the theme provider. And then of course you need some documentation so that so that it kind of what things are customizable. So the avatar, we imported stats. We're going to remove this, and let's think about a slightly more feasible documentations plan. So we have components. We could have like another tab here called like ecosystem, in which you could look at all the components. It would be really cool if we could just like reuse the docs, right? And if they are extended, then it should be easy. Like I don't see why not. Right, and this is kind of the important part, like the customizations doc, and it would be useful. Wait, let me find a more complex component. So menu. The customization docs for menu actually say that you can customize the button, the menu list, and the menu item. Right, and this is very similar to what we just did. So you import, you change, and these are additives, so you can add things, and then you pass them, right? So this is like a middle layer to all of that. Wow. Yeah, I think I'm convinced this is a. I'm not convinced it's the best strategy, but it's a not bad strategy. Cool. So let's make the first one. Let's start from the very top. I need to make another tab here. So I have no memory of where that is. It's probably in docs. It's probably in source. It's probably just an app. Can I find GitHub? Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna call it the ecosystem. I actually call it the ecosystem of components, because it might not just be components, it could be other things as well. So we get a new tab, you can click it, it's here. Now I need to remember how do any of these get published. Let's see, pages.components. Yeah, there we go. So if I copy this and make this ecosystem, this is going to be interesting. Ecosystem index. The rest of it is just fine, just that this doesn't exist. So for that, pages comes from pages. Yeah, let's create another one. System from pages. Oh, ecosystem. Yeah, now it still errors because there's nothing called ecosystem yet. Ecosystem. Awesome, I can rename this. System, create an index, import, let's say stats from stats. Import, I need to export. And there is no index page, but there is now a stats page. Cannot resolve ecosystem, that's okay. Spelling is correct. This is index. Probably need to have like more like a proper index with a menu and everything. Yeah, let's copy this one. Oop. No. Okay, let's go back. Whoa, I'm completely screwed. Okay, this is where I created. So I want like an ecosystem here, not inside pages. But why? Maybe it should be inside pages. Come to think of it. Okay. I'm gonna take back some of the things I said. So this is gonna be inside pages. This is fine. This needs to be ecosystem index pages. This of course doesn't exist yet, so I'm gonna comment this out. But actually I should just build this one. Cool. So now when we go to pages index, we come here and we say export default as ecosystem index from ecosystem / index, and we already have another one which is stat, comes from ecosystem.stats. Perfect, we got 2 pages now. Let's see, ecosystem goes to this, which is a copy. Change it, system. Nice, this is coming around. Perfect. And all of these are lies. Let's go to column components. This is called stats. Nice, so now that this works, there is the first page. Beautiful, we've got something. I should change all of this is all wrong. Okay, so lots of docs to write here on how do you extend, like what components are available. So this is obviously like a small page. There could be a lot of things here. I have a feeling like there is some of it already here. So when Ruben created the PR, he also built the docs, which means probably has at least some part of the docs. Yeah, there we go. Let's see, can I copy this whole thing? Yeah, the only difference here is this comes from a different package. Oh god, I renamed it. Trying to be careful to not replace anything that shouldn't. Okay, let's see what docs Ruben has written. Element type is invalid. Okay, so one of these things is probably broken. Let's just try commenting some of this. Oh. Okay, so the page renders, that's good. The first example doesn't render. Okay, we have something. React.js stats. I'm gonna guess that stats itself could be a problem. No. Undefined, la la la. Example code. This. Oh yeah, I renamed it, right? So stats amount is actually stats value. Stats value and stats title is stats.label. Thank you for the second screen, don't need it. Okay, we're back. Uncomment all of this. Let's see, look at the comments. Oh wow, sorry, I missed a bunch. Hey bro, hey Dinesh. Suraj, hey Suraj. It would be nice if you can add an open in sandbox for each component like ant docs. I haven't looked at the ant documents for a while. And design. Let's see, what does it have? Oop. Ooh, I really like the UI domain. React UI.design. It has a very nice ring to it. Okay, let's see. Components and design React. Can I? Okay. Give me components. Oh wow, one of these is code sandbox. This is code sandbox, this is code pen, this tab. They've basically written all of them. Interesting. Yeah. Oh, they use the API. Smart. Yeah, this should be fairly easy to do. Okay. I'm not interested. Like I could just add an icon here. And it uses the API, so it shouldn't be too hard. Let's see. Thanks for the suggestion. Dinesh, what do you think about container / presentation pattern for large projects? Kind of depends on the project, to be honest, and the people who work on it. Like I've gone back and forth on it. It made really sense for a certain kind of projects, but like in a lot of projects, your component itself is not big enough. So if you look like the menued component in React UI, it has some logic, but it's not enough logic to like separate it on, like it's not big enough to separate by the kind of thing it does. So I think one of the like it's a useful pattern, but any pattern is bad when it's used to like extremes. So if you start breaking components which don't make sense in two different concerns, like the logic and the styles are dependent, so they should be put together and you put them in different folders, kind of like just make things harder for yourself. So yeah, I think it really depends on what you're doing. So sorry, there's no absolute answer for any of it. Okay, so this is what Ruben had. Perfect. It would be cool to show like the author here, because like I didn't really build this component from scratch, right? So it would be cool if I could credit Ruben. Let's see, we have a component library. It shouldn't be so hard. Avatar, source, let's get Ruben. Oh, come on. Okay, fun trick for you. You can copy anyone's URL and just add .png to it, and that gives you a avatar URL. Yeah. Um. God damn it! I should have copied his name so that I get the apostrophe. This thingy. Accent. That's what they call it. Oh yeah. I'm gonna put this in a stack. I'm gonna put this in a text. I'm gonna put a I'm gonna put a gap in them and I'm gonna align them. Align center. Align center. There we go. Ta-da. Looks great. This should be a link and not a stack. Link to Ruben's profile, of course. Nice. I'm gonna make the avatar smaller. Size small. Is that too small? Medium. Yeah. Okay. Medium is actually better. Should write something here like text variant subtle built by space Ruben. Yikes. Yeah, the start component. So this makes sense when you're in the ecosystem. You're looking at stats like other components. You get the start component, which is built by Ruben Moya. Yeah, pretty cool. I like the idea. Okay, so now, yes, let's finish the. Ruben said he didn't know what to write in the customization doc. Let's look at any of the other ones and then we can figure out. So the avatar has this, which says, please read the customizer. Like, this is a very long doc. Uses avatar uses the following properties from theme. He already said that. And then there's this table, which essentially shows like what can you customize. So I think breadcrumb is a good example of this. Yeah, there we go. Following customizable elements. That's what I want to say. Stats has the following customizable lala, and then it essentially refers to like what are the names of things inside it, so that when you want to put in your theme like we did, doc/theme now, these values, right? Like how do you even know what these values are? You kind of have to refer to something. So that's what this is for. So you have stats. Like one way of finding out what the values are, of course, to like right click inspect, and we always put the name there. So yeah, you'll find data component, you'll find a name here, and that's one way. But then it's always nicer if the docs actually help you out. This is description. Did not import table. Let's see. Perfect. So now we say like these are the customizable things, but we should also give an example. So I'm gonna copy the breadcrumb example. Okay. Because I'm sure we'll have to customize it a little. First of all, this should use the stats. Whoop, didn't import theme provider. Okay. Cool, so can close this. Yeah, so all of this is obviously, all of this is incorrect. we'll have to import things here. So we import tokens and components from the base theme. Then we import styles as stats from React UI stats. And that's really what we're customizing here. So where are my docs? Theme. This is what I wanted to do here, which I can do inside. But I don't need to mention. Wait, all of the syntax is wrong. It should be this. And then the color has text body, which is from your theme now. Stats description. Stats. Oh, I would say stats value. Oh, perfect. So stats itself should have color body. Inside that, I want to say stats value. So it's React UI supports nesting, which isn't really a big deal. And then stats description not only has a smaller size but also has a subtle color. Reads from tokens dot colors dot text dot body. Reads from tokens dot font size dot 5. Reads from tokens and no font size 2, and finally colors text dot subtle. Okay. And this. Perfect. So now when you bring this whole thing, wait, I still have to merge it, so I'll have to do like a import merge. Wait, this is where I messed up. This is my customization. Wait, I should just have said stats. Okay, let's remove that. I'm gonna say stats dot stats value is font size this. Trying to show that you can be very specific if you want to. Okay, but this would override the style. That's not what we want. Okay, first I think let me write like the most complicated version and then I'll try to simplify this. What I want to do here is I want to do components.stats is stats. That's the first one, right? So I want to add stats to component styles. And then I want to say you can still customize it. So you can say component.stats dot color, which is stupid. Kind of want to merge them. So what I want to do is I want to merge. Okay. I want to merge the stats and my customizations. So these are my customizations. This whole object. So I'm taking whatever the stat comes out of the box and I'm merging it. Merge. And this becomes the thing. So Let's import merge. Import merge from React UI. Yeah, this is becoming an interesting API. So when you bring your own component, you can say component the stats is merge, bring the stats, bring this, bring the customizations. So I think I should also break this down. Right, so I already have stats and then I have customizations. I can actually call it custom stack, which is a merge of stack and my customizations. Right, this makes a lot more sense, at least in how you write things. Customize third-party stats component. Step 1, this closes this closes this, don't need this one. And then we say, let's add this to our components. Okay, now I like this. So we imported stats and then we said we're going to customize it. So we merge the styles of the original stack and everything we wanted. And then we add this into stats and then we feed it to our component so that when we use this components, we would get the styles. Now let's copy this and actually merge it. Components, interesting. Stats styles as stack stats styles. I want components to be merge stats styles and the custom stuff I just wrote. No, okay, this is wrong. And I need to import merge from React UI. Nice, there we go. So this is what the component looks like. I think I like it. I'm just gonna put this in a new line. Just to kind of signal what's going on, like we're merging base and our own. Merge, actually, you know what, that looked better. Because you read it left to right and you see merge stack with this object. So these are our customizations, we got a custom stack. Now we're going to use our custom stack. I'm going to call it customized stack. Option step. Yeah. Cool. I like it. It's looking good. Let's see if it works across themes. It does, because this picks text.body, which is what we wanted. So that's a smart default. Is it a default? Is it just something I made up? Styles. It's something I did. So docs theme. Oh yeah, so I shouldn't do this. I don't want to customize this. Shouldn't be my job, should be in the docs. Okay. Let's go to base. Base is fine. Dark is also fine. Yeah, so the default style we're talking about, so stats should have color text.body. It's kind of assuming that some of these things exist, which is the tricky part. it's also assuming that this is 3 is the default, so font size is 2 is smaller. Okay, there we go. Can I build again? Build it, perfect. Stats can be combined with stack to create stats groups. I think that's a really smart thing Ruben did. It's like tell people also how they might want to use it. That's perfect. Customization. Okay. In the customization, I'm just gonna make this label small because I kind of don't like how it looks. Stats label. Font size 3. I'm using the body size, which is 3, which is probably what it will already get. Let's try again. Oh, and I also want to show that stats label can also be customized. So you say text transform uppercase. Oop, and also here. Yeah, perfect. Cool. Okay, so I have sort of a convention. I'm gonna push out of this. What? How did we not use? What page is this? Oh, this is the ecosystem page. Okay. Yeah, I have to write down what happens on this page. Yeah, I have to write down this page. I'm gonna try to get something done here. For now, I'm just gonna hide this page. So if you're watching this stream, you know this page exists. You can go to it. But for the rest of the world, ecosystem, I'm gonna mark this as to do. You know what? I'm gonna hide this page. Let's just comment this line out so that doesn't show here, but you still can go to the URL. Perfect. Okay. I'm gonna push all of this. I think this was a good first session for figuring out how to do extended packages. I'm gonna add all of this. Shouldn't add all of this. I should check what I'm adding. Let's see. Docs package, I want it. The global package, I want that. Docs source app, I added stuff, I know it. Yeah, see this page, I don't want to actually make changes. Breadcrumb and avatar should not have changes. I was just copy pasting from there. I didn't actually want to change them. Then source pages, I want it. Podcast tab, no changes, thank you. React UI themes, no changes. What did I change in the package JSON? Oh yeah, this is good. React UI. Let's add yarn doc. I wanna take all the changes to docs, and I want this new folder. Oh, we should just call it ecosystem. Okay, that's nice. That's helpful. I'm gonna rename it. It's probably gonna break everything. This is fine. This is also fine. So only this needs to be renamed to ecosystem. Then I don't even have to call it the long name. I can just call it ecosystem. which has stats components. So components. Actually, you know what? We'll do it when we get enough components. Components. That's it. I just need to change this. Not bad. Did something bad, didn't I? X reset. Don't want this. In fact, let's delete that file. Cool. Okay, I'm gonna say it's a proof of concept for ecosystem components. Good push. Good talk. Oh. God damn it. I think I committed on GitHub. But that's okay. No problem. Alright, cool. So I'm still not convinced that everything here is the right way to do, but I think it's in the right direction. And yeah, if you watch this video, please feel free to tell me, give me some feedback on what's up. And cool, maybe I'll stream tomorrow. What is tomorrow? Tomorrow's a Saturday. Maybe I won't, maybe I won't. The days have kind of all fused into each other, so we'll see how it goes. I think everyone's trying to take it one day at a time, so let's not over promise here. Cool, thanks for watching if you are, and ciao. I will see you next time.